So okay. So if that's the case, why do you let a man cheat when he makes more money than you? You told me that earlier, that when a man makes $1 million, he can cheat.
I told you I would side chick myself to a rich.
Why?
Well, because I don't love. I'm gonna side chick myself to, so there has to be some incentive, right? If I don't love you and your dick is mediocre, why else would I be here?
So you're only here for the money. So you're a gold digger.
If I'm a side bitch, yes.
So you're a gold digger. So you're a gold digger.
If you have a side bitch, I want you to be as cautious of her as you are of me saying this. Like, I hope you don't ever think that you have a side bitch who's just enamored with you. You don't. You don't.
What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, back in here with yet one more video. Guys, listen, you already see the thumbnail. You probably already see the entrance clip. We gotta get back in there. Shout out to the Cruise Season. All right, shout out to them. Fantastic channel. If you haven't checked them out, link down in the description. Go give them a follow. Okay, great content. Listen, the Cruise Season, I did a video not too long ago, and I wanted to finish components of the video to get a better understanding of the arguments that were put forth. Title of the video was, Does Income Matter When Dated? Again, this is a very long video, okay? And I'm gonna cut up portions of it to react to the same content, okay? So go up there and take a look at the original, all right? Without further ado.
If you make millions, right, and I'm making 100,000,
okay,
you're going to treat me like an option, right? Like, I have so much to prove to even get a ring, to even get a chance.
Sometimes.
A lot, unless my ass is fat and my titties are big, which they're not. I'm sweet and I'm nice and I'm petite. So I have a lot to prove. I have a lot to prove. That being said, I will treat a man who's broker than me the same way a man who's rich would treat me. I have the control. I will cut you off. You can't move around. And men don't like that. So I like men who make more money than I do. And it is what it is. I support my family. I support my household. I have a child who's 7 years old, happily living, whatever. I absolutely will not support somebody else. I don't even want you to make what I make, because if you fall into a bad, hard situation, I have to support you. You have to make...
You think that?
I know that. You have to make double, if not triple, if not quadruple.
That's what you've been through.
I never will ever support another man as long as I live.
All right. So we got a lot more information this time that I had no idea about the first time that I did the video. Okay, so the young lady, her name is Kelsey, okay, who doesn't represent the feelings of all women. Let me also give that caveat right out here in the beginning, okay? She has a 7-year-old at home. Here's what I see, and I talked about this in the first time that I talked through this video, is that there's some component of hurt behind the way that she speaks. And that's true. And what I can see happening is, because she has hit a position where her options have lowered because of whatever the situation was and the kid end up happening, her self-defense mechanism is to feel like she has to belittle those that don't make double or triple or quadruple, as she said, is what she does. And slight correction to my last video, I thought she was saying less than half. And I saw that in the editing process and I chose not to take it out because I heard her say double, but I just assumed she meant less than half. I didn't know that she meant to that extreme, right? But she clarified it right there. She meant double, triple, quadruple. I think that there's components within it which we've already identified previously as toxic, but as you start to peel back the onion to understand a little bit more about her lifestyle, you can understand how she's come up to that conclusion. And I think that it is nothing other than a self-defense mechanism where she has reached a certain component of her life, and these are the options that are in front of her. So it makes no financial sense for her to get with anybody that cannot also support her child. Now listen, the sad part about this is that even with a son, she would side chick herself if the money was right. And the thing is, and I've said this a couple of times, but I want to hone in on this, this is a direct result of pain or direct hurt that she has suffered previously in her relationship from her making probably not the wisest decisions. She has the archetype of someone who would then find a Shira7 YouTube video channel, or name the hypergamy, femininity, dating coach, whatever, who would find one of that after A, she's been hurt, B, she realizes that her options are limited through time, the wall, or a child. You understand what I'm saying? So again, my G's, you see things like this that are happening and the content that is presented, and you take it with a grain of salt. You just understand that, hey, listen, the outward appearance that you see, the tough bravado, the drama that is being expounded, the shit testing or whatever it is that she might do one-on-one to you, you have to understand where it may come from. And it may come from a place of hurt, but you can't respond to hurt with hurt as being a leader. That's not the way that we respond over here. You understand what I'm saying? But let's keep going.
Me personally, I don't require a woman to, you know, bring in a certain amount of income. That's just me personally, because at the end of the day, I'm already gonna have a roof over my head. I'm taking trips with my boys. We're doing XYZ. We're going to eat good. We're doing this and that. So anything that you would bring in would just be an addition to what I already have. Women look for a man to take them to the next level. Most women.
The real question is why, as women, are we working so hard and grinding so hard when men don't care? We could slack off, we could be bums, and y'all would still wife us at the same rate that you wife us when we're grinding our asses off. Y'all don't care. The reason why do y'all care so much?
Let me try to answer that for you, Mama, because you obviously don't understand how men work. There's degrees of feminism that have convinced you that men will want you more with the more degrees that you have, the more money that you have. And it's just not true. By and large, that's not the way that men think. And through biological, evolutionary reasons, this is what generally happens. Is men usually look to the left and to the right and down. Women look to the left and to the right and up. It just is what it is. And from an evolutionary perspective, there's nothing wrong with that. But to think that you want to equal yourself out as to compare accomplishments between each other is not the way to go. You will not get ahead in conceiving how genders are becoming attracted to each other. The opposite sexes are becoming attracted to each other. It's not in that mindset. Another thing that she said earlier too is that she said she's sweet and kind, and it's so ironic because in the conversation she speaks pure vitriol, right? So my G's, again, no matter what they say to you, because I can picture her being one-on-one with her in a coffee date type of a situation or arrangement, and I would only see in front of me a very sweet, feminine sounding woman. But, you know, when she's in this avenue, what you see is how the gears in her mind are actually turning. My thing is that this would eventually come up at some point in your interactions, okay? And you cannot lose sight of that. At some point, this would come out through some way. She'll break it to you some way, but keep your eyes open, okay? Because what can happen is the advantages that she has in looking the way that she does. There's still dudes that will give her money. There's still dudes that will give her time. So she can talk like this and suffer very minimal action, okay? Because she can still do it. She can still get away with it.
We care for our own self-worth. We care for our own self-worth, and that's why I'm not carrying no broke ass, because I've worked too hard.
I've worked
too hard.
So it's okay. So it's okay for a man to date a broke, but it's not okay for a woman to date a broke.
Personally, if you're dating a bitch who's broker than me, I think you're a joke. But that's your personal decision.
But love is love, right?
No.
So why does love? So
I would never.
But love shouldn't have a monetary value attached to it.
Well, it does.
For
me, it does. And for you guys, it doesn't, because you guys have societal power. You have monetary power. You have all these privileges that allow you to choose who you want.
It ain't societal power.
We can't choose who we want.
You know, I see this come up a lot in, you know, the hypergamous side of YouTube is, you know, there's a lot that equate love and money is one and the same, as if they have convinced themselves that If you find someone with a degree of financial backing or padding, then you can convince yourself to be in a relationship with them. And, you know, I think that there's some that probably have the aptitude to be able to do that. A lot of it's really dependent upon their background, right? If they came from a downtrodden background, right, poverty-stricken, I think they are more apt than a lazy middle-class version of them. You understand what I'm saying? Both may have the same goal, but both have way different past experiences dealing with not having any money. But when I see that, I just hope that the dudes that are engaging in these relationships are very clear that they are doing it for that. And I think as long as it's a transparent exchange, have at it. Okay? If you want to spend your money on that, have at it. If you want to spend your money on a trophy, listen, this world can be lived in a bunch of different ways and happiness can be defined a bunch of different ways. You understand what I'm saying? And if that's your happiness, let it be. But I think there's a lot of dudes out there that have let their ego convince them that it's not the money as the reason why she's there. Okay? Let's keep going.
Initially, when we're looking for a female, we're just looking for a female who's going to, you know, give us love, give us support, some loyalty. You know what I'm saying? That's what we look for. We don't look for money.
So no,
we look for money because we have that.
But we take care of ourselves. Stuff. You look for a pretty girl. You look for a girl with a big butt. You look for a girl with big boobs. You do.
That don't mean shit because a lot of these women that have a big butt and that's pretty can't even hold a basic conversation.
Half of you men don't need that.
That is what it is.
You guys don't need that.
Yes, we do.
Some of you do. Some of you don't.
We have to deal with you day in and day out. So you don't think we pay attention to stuff like that?
I don't think you care enough to make that deciding factor.
Yes, we do.
You do. Just like every conversation we've had tonight, you care about what applies to you. You need to look at it from an objective perspective.
This is the first time that I have ever agreed with her. She's right here. There's a lot of dudes out there, myself included, way less so now, obviously. Okay, I've grown. Okay. Who would let the physical aspects outweigh what probably would have been better choice, better options. You know, we all go through that. But you could tell the young brother there, he's a little bit old. You could tell he's not in his younger 20s. So you could tell he's been around the block for a little bit. So he's equating it to himself. You see what I mean? But I can, of all the points that she made, I guess, okay, you got one. You got one.
A lot of men care if a woman can hold a basic conversation because you have a lot of women out here who fine as hell, nice bodies, and got it paid for by other men, and we're dating you, and you can't even hold simple shit. You don't know what credit is. You don't know how credit works. Like, it's just basic shit that a lot of women just don't understand because they've been taken care of their whole life. So a man doesn't want to be the rest of his life with a woman that doesn't know anything.
All right, so listen, I'm going to conclude right there. My man just made fantastic points, and that's really how I looked at it. You know, in my earlier 20s, I was a lot more visually focused in the moment of whatever it was that I was doing and having fun with it. You know what I'm saying? But like now as I've gotten older, like I've seen a couple of channels up here and the dudes were like, you know, I like early 20s. Like I generally, usually like around mid 20s when they have had to experience life a lot more. What I come to know, love, and understand is I do a lot better with women that are knowledgeable about the world around them, and they're still not living in this bubble, this protective bubble and contrived reality that we all know is just not true. So I bang with on what he's saying. I mean, going into a future state, irrespective if I was a millionaire or like where I'm at right now, you know, I couldn't just deal with a beautiful, dumb woman. There was just no fiber in my soul that wants to do that. You understand what I'm saying? It'd be a lot more trouble than it's worth. Listen, that's been your reaction. Words. Y'all already know what to do. Video tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. I got a Patreon. If you want to come out and support, let me know. Patreon.com/MTNR. Link down in the description. The Discord server that I have hooked up to it, we going off in there. All right? We going off in there. Until next time, YouTube.